Alright, we're here for round one, and this hand is pretty good here. Let's go ahead and fix the window real quick. Get a big old picture, get all the cards in. Alright, so if we take a look at this opener, we see a pretty good hand. We have two effective creatures. We have the potential to kill our opponent on turn two, actually, if we draw actual perfect. If we draw mutagenic growth plus a green source, we can turn to our opponent. Otherwise, though, we're just going to try to kill him on like turn 3 or 4. We do want to draw one land here just to make the comments a little bit better. But for the most part, I think this hand is very good against the majority of the modern field. Now, if we get like Inquisition or Thoughtseize on one, it's not great for us. Sorry about that. Okay, so Affinity, this draw is actually not very good against. I think Affinity is a pretty good matchup. We're going to need to draw a Rancor or Slip Through Space for this hand to actually do anything. We can maybe put him into the Abyss. So we can force him to chump block with his Ornithopter, and we have enough creatures where I'm sorry. So we can we have enough pump spells so that we only really need to connect like one time. I think I'm gonna play Foothills here over Nexus to threaten a lethal kill. And if he blocks, perfect. If he doesn't block, then we may just hit him for a chunk. We're gonna go ahead and I think we're actually gonna use Vines over these other two for now, since Vines is the more expensive one, and it's unlikely he has removal in his deck, or at least not a lot of removal. So now I think I'm going to play Nexus. Okay, no attacks, huh? Well, that was actual perfect, so we're just going to play Blighted Agent and try to kill him next turn. Don't even mind attacking here too much, but I don't think I want to do that. Probably should have played Windswept Heath so we can play around Galblast in case he does draw red and a thing. We might actually just die to an Inkmoth Nexus. I didn't even think about the... Okay, I guess not. He's not going to go for it or anything. Yeah, regular damage, not a big deal. He's going to pump his team. Now, I expect him to activate both Nexus and just put some counters on him, but then he's just going to die this Blighted Agent. This was a phenomenal draw. Alright, well, let's just go ahead and go for it. He may have Dismember or something, so we need to be conscious of that. Okay, so even if he has Dismember, he still takes 10, which is great. Alright, got him dead. Obviously, if he had Dismember, there's a high probability that he would play it there on his turn. But, you know, if you can play around it, you might as well. Alright, so we get a bunch of virtual Swords to Plowshares here. I think we can board out a reasonable amount of stuff in this matchup. I think Vines of the Vastwood is pretty terrible. I think Rancor is good just because it helps our Glistener Elves, our Inkmoth Nexus, and things get over his creatures, and we don't have to just move all in on Blighted Agent. Wall Defiance, Dismember, these cards might be okay since it's way more about board positioning than it is anything else. We kind of morph into this odd control deck with a combo kill. I think we can board out Might of Old Crocea. We don't have a ton of pump spells after that, although I guess maybe Mutagenic Growth is worse than Might of Old Crocia, since we're going to be playing a bit of a slower game here. So I kind of want to bring in like all these cards. It's the Rancor 2 maybe. Alright, so how many does that leave us? Still got to cut 4 more. Yeah, maybe we just cut all the Might of Old Crocia. Well, like I said, we're going to slow down our deck a bunch against them. It's possible that instead of cutting Might, we just want to cut Jataxian Probe. I think I'm okay with that, actually, since we're bringing in the Twisted Images. Because there are going to be spots where we have, like, one window to kill him. So we do want to make sure that we can do that. And cutting all of our vines and things might not be too bad, since it's a little slow. But we need to make sure we still keep in enough things to actually kill them. Becomiments, Might of Old Crocia, and Groundswell, I think, are enough. And we have a ton of ways now to kill... what's it called? Spellskite. So. Another card noticeably absent from this version of the deck is Dryad Arbor. I haven't loved it in general in the deck, so I'm pretty happy to get it out. Alright. This hand is not great, but I think we're going to keep it. If we draw any Infector, we might just kill him with the Nature's Claim. Just being able to take out his one blocker. But we have a bunch of pump, so I think we're going to keep it and hope we draw a Blighted Agent. If we do draw a Blighted Agent, we're in great shape to just kill him on like turn 3. I do like attacking mana in the matchup with stuff like Nature's Claim, but at this point, I think I just save it for a more important card. Like at this point, when he has 2 Springleaf Drums, any creature is going to turn it on. They have a bunch of cheap and/or free creatures, so like turn 1 killing Memnite is kind of a waste, I think. Really hope we draw Viridian Corruptor. Viridian Corruptor would be tight. The reason why we played and cracked the fetch land over something like Pendlehaven is okay, well, we did draw another Nature's Claim. That's pretty good. I think I'm just going to play his Breeding Pool tapped. We don't want to take too much damage in the matchup. I would love to draw an Infector here. Oh no, that's really bad. Alright, well, we're going to kill Spellskite, and then we're going to kill Gearpeer Ether Grid. So, this is a card that we can't easily beat. So, we just have to get it out of here. Alright, now we just need to draw Infector. Have not. So, I guess we'll just battle for 1. Yeah, this card is horrible to deal with. His version seems fairly hateful towards our deck. Podcast? That's a pretty good one. Nope. Ooh. Alright, so we need to draw a Blighted Agent right now, or we're likely just going to get overpowered here. Even drawing the 2 Nature's Claims, like obviously we still need an Infector to do anything. I think whether or not to harp back on the Dryad Arbor thing, I think that Dryad Arbor is good when the format has a lot of copies of Liliana of the Veil. Cat, what are you doing? Going crazy is what he's doing. Oh, that's not great. Guess we'll just maybe play a defensive Becomiments. Just kind of bad. I mean, we do have these 2 Groundswells, so defensive Becomiments might not be terrible. Since we do have Pendlehaven plus Noble Hierarch and double Groundswell to potentially kill them. if we do draw an Infector. Might just soak the damage, though, honestly. This is one thing I was kind of afraid of playing so many pump spells after board. So we might bring back in the Jataxian probes and just cut Might of Old Crocia. Obviously, we didn't draw, but you can see we're fairly flooded with pump spells here. And if he moves all in, I think we might actually just be dead to the Ingmoth Nexus. So yeah, we could have like blocked and groundswelled, I guess, to kill Memnite. Maybe that would have been fine. Yeah. Alright, let's see if he wants to sacrifice his Arcbound Ravager. Can't really target our guy, and if we target another guy, he might have sacked it, but maybe if he sacks Ravager, that's not terrible for us. Wish we had drawn that to kill Spellskite instead of having to use a Nature's Claim. But, whatever. Blighted Agent. Alright, now he might actually just go for the Ingmoth kill, since we're going to be at effectively 3. Or sorry, he's going to be dealing us effectively 3, so he has to put 5 counters on it. He might not for fear of like a third Nature's Claim or a Dismember or something. He has to think that he's dead if I get to untap though, so I'm pretty confident he's gonna just kill us this turn. Alright, well, let's see if he goes for it. Yeah, he's gonna go for it. It makes sense for him to go for it, honestly. For a couple reasons, but mostly because if he gets to, or if I get to untap, he's pretty sure he's gonna die. So, all right. So, yeah, still. I mean, Vines is actually pretty good against Ravager, though. Maybe we do want to consider that, but I think mostly we just did not have a great draw in that game. Let's see. So I suppose we could just cut Mites for Vines, since it's a little more versatile, although it makes our deck a little bit slower, but since we're already slowing down the game with Nature's Claim and Twisted Image, maybe that's just a little bit better. Plus, it'll stop something like Gal Blast, but stopping a Ravager is pretty big when, you know, we're just trying to play this weird longer game. Alright, we'll play first. Alright, this hand's great. This is actually almost exactly what we want. The Twist Image, Nature's Claim, draw gives us outs to a couple different things. We have a Pump Spell and Ingmoth Nexus, so. Alright, not gonna attack here. Might want to double spell on his end step. Can't kill him next turn, just gonna start chipping at him, I think. Could Twisted Image the Ornithopter, but I kind of want to save it for a Spellskite. It depends on what happens. Like, if he just taps out, like, if he goes land, Gear per Ether Grid, Um, so we can Twisted Image his Ornithopter right now, and that'll actually keep him off of being able to use the Mox Opal in case he plays Ether Grid. And we still have the backup Nature's Claim to kill Spell's Guide or Ether Grid. So he's going to float a mana here, but we do get to turn off his Mox, hopefully, for the rest of this turn. Pendlehaven's not a bad draw. We can put his flyers into the Abyss, which is sweet. Alright. Well, that guy's fine. Alright, well, that's a really good start from him. Unfortunately, we have to Pendlehaven before we attack, so we get the double bonus. Well, now, okay. So we can go ahead and Groundswell here and hit him for 7. I don't think there's any threat of us dying next turn, and we may just be able to get him with Nature's Claim plus the 3 here from Inkmoth and Pendlehaven plus Noble Hierarch. So now he has hold up 2 flying blockers, and even if he blocks Nexus with Nexus, we still have a second Nexus. So okay, he's tapping out for Blood Moon. Okay, well that's good. He's dead. So we get to go kill Blood Moon, activate, attack. Since we have this handy dandy Noble Hierarch. Tight. Alright, so I guess we could have fetched a basic force at some point, maybe instead of the turn 1 breeding pool, but I thought we might need the blue mana if our Noble Hierarch did die. And since it didn't, you know, even though he was able to Blood Moon us, we did have the Nature's Claim to get out of it, which was kind of sweet. And that's one of the reasons why you don't just burn your Nature's Claim early on. We could have used it to kill like Springleaf Drum, so that he couldn't have used the Ornithopter with the Springleaf Drum, and then we would have saved the Twist Image for later, but then we actually might have just lost to the Blood Moon. So we were pretty conservative with our stuff there. I think it was correct to just deal him the 7 points the turn before, because there's a small chance that we don't have the extra mana to use all of our stuff next turn. And it didn't exactly turn out like that, but it was pretty close. So fairly happy with how that match played out. I think we got to see a lot of the little tricky things that both sides can do. So yeah, that was the first match. We'll be back for the second match in just a few.